Welcome to Local SEO in 10. This is your go-to podcast for answers about how you can grow your local business online easily and quickly. Brought to you by local SEO experts Magnified Media in Walnut Creek, California. In each 10-minute episode, our digital marketing expert Adam Duran answers your questions on how you can get more leads for your business fast. Remember, if you're not taking care of this part of your business right now, you can bet your competitors are. And now, here's our host with the questions, Jamie Duran, and our expert with the answers, Adam Duran.
Hello, Adam.
Hey, Jamie.
How is your week going?
It's going hot.
It is a hot week. Whew.
It got kind of cloudy a couple days ago, and then the clouds just
they melted away.
Yeah, they were like, this is too hot for us. Let's get out of here.
Too hot. But but that's all right. Business is booming.
That's right. In California, this is Northern California, especially. This is how it is, I guess now. No rain
for 6 months.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right.
Who needs water?
I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Today I have a great topic, so I want to go right into it.
Ready.
Okay. All right. This is 10 reasons your business doesn't need a custom website.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we're going to be talking mainly about WordPress, and kind of what spurred this on is recently we've had a number of clients come to us, and they're on somehow, some way they were convinced that a custom website for their small business or their small company was a good idea. And then
they didn't trust the expert.
I don't know. Or then what happens $10,000, $15,000 later for that, whatever 10-page website, they're wondering why things are going wrong. So then, they come to us, and then we have to kind of wade through all that stuff. So I wanted to kind of give some information that, if you're listening to this podcast, what you kind of should really understand when you're when you hear a web designer say custom. Okay. Custom for them means, what do you think, Jamie?
Ka-ching.
That's
Cha-ching,
right.
cha-ching,
Yeah, that slot machine for them is just going bing, 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 bing. And for you, that means the money's going out. So before you take that step to get a custom website, you got to think about why. And so anyway, first one is, of course, guess what, Jamie? You are not a unicorn.
Really?
Yeah, you are not unique. It's not 1996 anymore.
I'm special.
You are not the first dentist, lawyer, or tech company to need a website.
Mm.
Yeah. So having your own unique way of doing a website, guess what? It's not going to help. It's definitely going to hurt, and it's going to confuse people who are going to come to your site. So bad. Those are all bad reasons why. Just understand you're not a unicorn. This has all been done before.
All right.
Okay. All right. The other big one that you got to be aware of is that when you go for a custom website, that means that designer now has you tied to them forever. So if you need a small change on that site, guess who can't do it themselves?
The owner, website owner.
Yeah, the owner, or even the staff. Like, they have to call up that designer or email them, and then turnaround time, minimum 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it can get pretty crazy, and I'll tell you why it gets crazy. But that having that custom site, man, it does tie you to that designer forever. You're married, a divorce will be messy, and you will end up losing a lot during that divorce. So tough. Okay.
Yep.
You can't make any changes on that site without the help of that designer, because now they are using a custom template or a custom theme, usually a custom template on WordPress that it's a house of cards. So it can be very dangerous for you as the owner to go in there and change anything, add your hours, change your phone number, stuff like that, which are pretty important. But if you have to go to a designer every time to make a change like that, and the turnaround's 2-3 weeks, that's no bueno.
Of course, it's but 2 to 3 weeks, it seems like a dream compared to some of the people I've talked with.
Oh no. All right. Well, and the reason it is that long turnaround time is because usually a custom site, it's designed by a web designer or a graphic designer, a little different. And then they pass that design onto a web developer, usually in India, and they go, make this happen. And that developer will totally make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, any revisions, updates, changes, whatever,
Change orders.
it's got to go to the designer, and then it's got to be filtered through that designer to that developer, and then the developer back to the designer and back to you. So that's why a lot of times these things the turnaround times can just be unthinkable. I know I've heard 6 months.
Well, and then you also have the experience of the person's, coming back, and they did not understand what the change was. So then another 6 to 8 weeks to hear back on the change and they all like a lot of pictures. Well,
because they're dealing with somebody whose second language is English a lot of times. And so you really have to understand that when you're going with a designer who is pushing custom, what they're doing is they're feeding that developer in whatever country it is that work, and then coming back and then charging, whatever, 40 times, 50 times, whatever they're paying that developer. And when you do that, then that developer looks at that work. It's the bottom of the barrel for them. So why would they devote? They have projects coming in all the time that most likely, especially if they get them themselves, they're going to getting paid 10, 20, 30 times what they were getting from that web designer. So that's kind of, it's weird in the back end of all this, like, the underground or the back office part of this. I don't think a lot of clients understand that when you're going to a web designer, 9 times out of 10, they're not doing the work. And they're going to offload it onto somebody who they have to explain it to. So that can always be problematic.
What do you think the price point because we see websites all the time that are $99 for a website, those kind of things. It's
so there is an adage, you get what you pay for. But if your site is 20 pages or whatever, and there's not a whole lot of interconnectivity, there's not a whole lot of, it's not an e-commerce site, there's not a whole lot of hours or things that need to be going on with that site, and you're coming back with, you're getting an estimate of 10, 15,000, then you got to really understand you're paying for a lot of that time to create that custom site. And that's unnecessary, right? When you do one of these custom sites, though, you also have to understand that it's built, the backbone is still WordPress for most of them. Okay. So that WordPress is always updating and changing. It's always trying to get more secure. And so that backbone, if it's not compatible with that your custom site, your site, you could wake up one day and it's just broken
or hacked.
Because exactly. WordPress updated, your custom site didn't update, right? Nobody's spending every day trying to develop it or anything. It's a done product. So if it can soon become incompatible with WordPress, and that sucks when that happens, because guess who you got to call?
Your developer in India.
Right. You got to first call that web designer and then the developer, and then that whole cycle starts again, all the while your phone's not ringing. So that's if you take nothing away from this podcast, that is a very, 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 very important thing to consider, is that no one will be updating that theme or that whatever your custom site is unless you're paying them continually. Yeah. So we always recommend, there's tons of web builders like Divi or WP Bakery or Beaver Builder. These are all awesome. They're themes that you can do almost anything with. It's a website builder that you pay for. And guess what? When you pay for it, when there are updates that happen, Jamie,
they're included.
Thank you. They are, right? So if WordPress updates, you'll get a little notification saying, hey, Divi just updated too. You better update, bro. And you do. Then you're fine. These are, that house of cards that your custom site will become gets completely avoided by using a website builder that will, you'll be able to build a gorgeous site. So the other, obviously, when you're going custom, it can get expensive very quickly, right? Time and money, super important to a small business or any kind of business, obviously. So you can't be down for that long, and you can't have a development time of 6 months. That's just insane. So, the other thing when you have a custom site is when WordPress updates, you have plugins on your site that add functionality to it. It could be a form. It could be anything. There's tons of plugins, millions. If your developer doesn't know that you're going to be using those plugins, guess what happens?
You're just paying for nothing.
And it breaks.
Oh.
The site will go down. It'll look crazy. Those updates, they affect plugins. They affect the site, the backbone of the site. And if your custom site isn't done correctly with all of that kept in mind, you're SOL, bro.
Finding a new web developer.
And you're 10, 15 G's out of pocket, right? Forever. Changing out or moving away from one of these is also a time intensive process because everything is custom. So these are definitely houses of cards that will come tumbling down or get hacked eventually. So whenever you're in a meeting with a person who says we're going to use custom, you want to say, no, thank you.
Cookie cutter, huh?
No, use a builder, Divi, WP Bakery, Beaver Builder. These are all fast. You can make them awesome. They'll look gorgeous, and they update themselves. I mean, yeah,
all right.
It's a no-brainer.
Sounds good.
As you say.
I've heard you not mention anything about GoDaddy. What's your opinion there?
Stay far away from their web builder, of course.
I don't know about, of course. They're probably the biggest one.
Oh my gosh, we'll do a podcast on that maybe next time. I don't know.
All right.
I think we've talked about GoDaddy. I think I have a vague. I know we've written about their GoDaddy web building experience. Stay away, people.
All right.
Stay far away. All right, that's all I got, Jamie.
Well, that was not 10 things, but that's okay. We have another podcast next week. But,
it felt like 20.
Oh no, it's like 3.
3. Pay attention.
Yeah, I did. Wrote everything down. Word custom equals I'm going to be paying thousands of dollars for the rest of my life to have a website. So.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, everyone. Well, if you enjoyed this podcast and you know a small business owner that has a website that relies on that website, they definitely need to hear this podcast and all of the previous episodes as well. So go to our website, magnifiedmedia.net, and make sure to search for any episode that you want where you can find every single topic on local SEO. This is a masterclass in making your business found on the internet.
Woo!
Make sure to give us 5 stars, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of Local SEO in 10 with Google local marketing expert Adam Duran. Join us each week for answers to your questions on how to best harness the power of the internet to grow your business. Speaking of questions, got some? Message us through our Facebook page, Local SEO in 10, and we'll be sure to give you your answer on an upcoming episode. This episode of Local SEO in 10 is brought to you by Magnified Media, the leading online marketing agency in Northern California, who invite you to grow your business by magnifying your online visibility and credibility. Visit them on the web at www.magnifiedmedia.com. Magnify your business, magnify your profits.